Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Good morning, Camille. Good morning, Jean. Oh, good. Sunny and chilly. It's chilly here as well. Hi, Liz. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Claire. Hi, Linda. Oh, I haven't got any sunshine here actually. It's very grey, but you know. Morning, Marie. Morning, Norman. Hi, Danny. Danny. It's funny, isn't it? Daniel. I always call you Daniel in class. Daniel. Morning, Wendy. Stars, Sandy. I really haven't got a clue. It's a new Facebook thing. I think they work like credits. So if you click on a bit where you can post stars. Morning, Melanie. Morning, Mandy. Morning, Jan. Morning, Susie. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Christine. So, yeah, I think if you click on, there's like where you can comment. There's a star shape that looks like a shooting star, and I think if you click on it, you can buy credits. I don't know how much they are. I don't know anything about that, but it's a new thing that Facebook have brought out this last week that I thought I'd try because there's no obligation, and you can just send a star or a couple of stars. I don't know how many stars. I don't know how it works. But basically, I get one US penny for every star. So there you go. That's how it works. Morning, Janet. Morning, Celia. Bonjour. Hi, V. Morning, Samantha. Hi, Sue. Good morning, Liz. Hi, Sarah. Oh, your 10-year-old son as well. He'll find it really interesting and useful, I'm sure. Morning, Jill. Morning, Jenny. Call you on. Well, I do off camera, Dan. I do. Louise, morning. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lorna. Oh, good. Well, there's another one. I've got an aubergine coming out in the morning. Very Eastery, an Eastery aubergine. Now, I've done a few colour mixing videos as well, and I've done the colour swatching things, and I posted this morning a list of all the colours that I use. Morning, Yvonne. Hi, Arena. Hi, Jilly. Morning, Louise. No, I don't really, Dan. I do. No, I don't. So we're going to look at simple perspective today, and I've got a thing that if technology works, it might work. I don't know, but we'll see. Right. So I've got my recycling pad here. This is cup cycled paper. We've had a huge delivery of these in, and they are available on our online shop. It is made from the world's first scheme to upcycle disposable cups. So there's a guy, James Cropper, in the UK, who has invented a machine to take the plastic layer from inside a paper cup and then use the paper of the paper cup to be recycled to make cup-cycled paper. Oh, thank you, Liz. I was desperately trying to find a link for an aubergine. An eggplant, of course. Hi, Liddy. Thank you. I could do an egg. You know, I don't know why I never thought of actually mixing an egg. All I'm going to use today is a pencil, a ruler, some cartridge paper, and an eraser. Maybe an eraser. But I like to show you how I get to where I'm going, you know. Morning, Diane. Not in cup cycled paper yet. I'm sure it will come though. I'm sure it will. But Sea White, the brand here. I've got one for my own live feed where it says comment. There's like, it depends what you're watching on, I think, Sandy. Don't use the aubergine emoji, Sue. No. Good, Jenny. So yeah, Sandy, on where it goes, I can comment. There's a shooting star. Insert an emoji or comment with a sticker. And if I go to where it says attach stars, obviously, really, it doesn't matter. You can just enjoy the free demo, or you can bung us something over by PayPal. I really don't mind. It is good quality. Good morning, Brenda. It is good quality paper, isn't it? Right, I'm 5 minutes in, so I better start. Now, there are lots of ways of doing perspective. And I think just the word perspective sends shudders down many artists' spines because, it's just Awful. When you get a book on perspective, not my book, Simple Start, available through Amazon as Kindle or hard copy paperback, or available through our Shop Appy site. You just, there's lines going everywhere, and it's just so confusing. So I'm coming at it from an artsy point of view rather than a technical, I don't know, a really techie. Morning, Joy. A more of a techie point of view in that if you wanted to add a building or something into your piece rather than doing a study of a building, I will show you that as well. But I think it's all much of a muchness in that it's confusing and it's scary, but I'll try and simplify it as best as I can for you. So obviously we've got natural perspective. Now, if I do this somewhere, I think I can do this. So natural perspective. Hi, Jilly. Hope you're all right. Obviously, you've got natural perspective, which is the further away something is, the smaller they are, the closer they are, the bigger they are. But what we're talking about is more linear perspective. So trees aren't always helpful because trees grow at different heights. So you could have a tiny tree at the front and a massive old oak at the back. So this is about linear perspective. So really, there's a focal point, vanishing point, horizon line. Now, the vanishing point is always on the horizon line. The horizon line isn't always the horizon. And I know that's a bit tricky, and I'm sorry about that. Morning, Emma. Oh, hello, Jenny. So, for it to work, there has to be a vanishing point, and the horizon line is actually your eye level line. So if you've got 4 people of 4 different heights looking at the same object, they will have 4 different vanishing points because their eye level line will not be the same. So if you've got somebody lying on the floor drawing compared to somebody standing on a ladder, or somebody sitting on a chair and somebody standing, they're going to be very different. So the horizon line is also the eye level line. I'll go into that in a little while. First of all, I want to show you a really simple way. So if you are doing a building, this could be a building, a train, a caravan, a car, anything linear. Anything linear is a really simple way. And I did it actually in my drawing class on Wednesday afternoon. We did a hot air balloon. And let's see if I can just lunge down. Oh, get my pad so I can show you what we did on Wednesday afternoon. And it was such a tiny piece of information to get that basket right. Because obviously I'm not going to have billions of lines coming through there, because the basket is only a tiny part of the whole painting. So maybe whether you're doing a piece of art and your building, morning Norma, your building is just there in a tiny picture, you may not want to spend hours and hours with finding horizon lines, vanishing points, having lines drawn everywhere. So here is a really simple way. Morning, Elizabeth. Happy Easter. A really simple way. And I'm going to start over this side because I always start over there. No, never mind. And so I'm going to work as a cube at the moment. So I'm going to draw a square. This will be classed as 1 point perspective. There is 1, 2 and 3 point perspective. So this could be the side of a house, or it could be the front of a bus, or the front of a train, or a narrowboat. I'll talk about narrowboats as well, because we did that as a drawing on Thursday morning using this method. So that is what is facing us. The front of a coach or train, or the side of a house, the gable end of a house. If it was a gable end of a house, we'd just draw a little party hat on top. Now the perspective comes in. This is really simple perspective. If I draw a smaller square with a party hat on, higher up, further out, lower down. Morning, Mary. All I then do is join bottom to bottom, top of the square to top of the square, top of the roof to top of the roof, and I've actually got a house. So this would be a simple way if you wanted to add a building, a barn, say, into your work. Now, you can change your party hat. As long as both party hats are the same shape, you're all right. So if I actually moved my second square, made it a bit bigger and further out, the perspective is altering slightly in that we're looking at it more side on. Whereas I'm doing it deliberately sketchy, so you can see I'm trying not to put much effort in to make it work for me. So this is more of an oblong. But if I move it in and make it smaller, bottom corner to bottom corner, top corner to top corner, top of the roof to top of the roof, I've got a much more forced perspective. What do you think of that idea? Good for you? I hope so. Well, there's 86 of you. Where have you all come? You've all crept in. Welcome. Welcome this morning to my musings and wafflings. So where you put that second square with a party hat really makes a difference. So if you were looking down, let's just say you wanted to add, thank you Brenda, you can come again. If you were looking at, so we were on an elevation looking down, draw your square with a party hat, but this time your second square is higher. And by moving up, you have a more elevated position. Morning, Valerie. Thank you, Louise. Oh, you're all so lovely. Thank you. Even this would work, look. Even if I do it like this. And basically what would happen is I'm just totally looking down on the roof. On the rooftops of London. Coo. What a sight. So it really works. If, let's say, the house is on a hill, how that would work, I'm going to do it the other way, because otherwise it will just look like I can only draw buildings on one way. Morning, Dawn. So here, we want it on a hill, so we're looking up. So this is where the crucial thing is with this very simple form, and I will do more proper arty versions in a minute. When you're looking down on a building, the second part goes higher. Ah, Jan. Thank you. When you're looking up at a building, the second part, which is further away from you, goes down. So here I'm going to draw my next square with a party hat and join top to top, bottom to bottom, bottom to bottom. So there I am looking up at a house. Looks a bit odd at the moment because I haven't put a hill on it. There we go. And that will work no matter what you want to do. You can always join us online, Jan. Only a £5. It could be a church. Now, if you were doing a church, it would involve two things. I would draw an oblong and a rectangle. Now, I don't know if I should be doing it this way. I don't know. Like that. This is facing us. The tower isn't. So if I draw a smaller tower next to it, You won't see the inside of that, but you will see the top. So that will be your mini little church, look. So even if it is a block of flats, you don't see many flats here in Oxfordshire. I remember when my mother came to visit, because we're from the Black Country, the best place in the world. Dudley. There's always flats. There's lots of blocks of flats. Whereas around here, you can look for miles along the countryside and you won't find a block of flats anyway. So here I'm going to draw a slightly smaller rectangle that's lower down and higher up. And it will work in exactly the same way, look. So this is really crucial. Boston, Bab, home of glass. Crystal Mile, Raw Brawley Crystal. It's Boston 8. I love a bit of glass from Stourbridge. In fact, I've got some. I've got some here. I've got a butterfly jam jar with some glass in it. Made of glass, actually. And he rode up. Okay. So that's how it works. Elizabeth, this is the thing. It is obvious when you know. But until you know, you'll never know. Will you, really? And that's sort of how it works. It's about unlocking simple little ways. So if I was going to do a train, for example, I will do proper perspective as well. We've got 45 minutes. You all know I don't do 45 minutes at the moment because I'm lonely and I have nobody to talk to. So I often seek until 12 o'clock. But however, when my shop reopens in a week's time, it will probably have to be 45 minutes because I will also be serving in amongst doing that. So if I wanted a train, basically, I'd just do a smaller square like that. I obviously. Oh, Diane. Welcome. I should be using a ruler as well. There you go. Look at that. Got me train. I mean, I could curve the front slightly. Look. For a modern train, this is. Now. This method also works for other shapes. We are all together, exactly, and I think that's what's lovely. I'm not really alone. I do really enjoy my own company. I'm a massive introvert. Once the cameras go off, I'll just read a book or faff about in my garden. Tar Connie, tar Bab. You got it. I've got it. I've not got my mum to chat to anymore. You could always guarantee when I phone my mother up. I'd come back with I had to drop my accent slightly, so people could understand me once I left the Black Country. Thank you, Roger. Yeah, I will be looking at the slightly more technical side of things, but this for me is such a massive way. Well, actually, Susie, top to top and bottom to bottom is all you need with this particular one, because if we were looking at a train station, you wouldn't see the top, would you? Because we're smaller than the train. So the train would sort of go off in that direction. So we wouldn't see the top. Good. Well, I'll try not to reinforce that, Anita, when we do actual proper perspective in a few minutes. But for example, I've got here, and I use these a lot. We do sell them in the shop, but we haven't got them online yet. An ellipse template or a circle template. Now, these are really useful, and I will show you because it's kind of about perspective. If I wanted to do a tube or something, I'd basically have a circle. Can't even use the stencil properly. Do exactly the same thing. Oh, let's go smaller. Let's go smaller there. Top to top, top to top. So that would be a cylindrical or a tunnel, maybe. Oh, bless you, Samantha. Good. I am really pleased. We do our free demos once a month, every month, and we have a whole backlog on our website and on here. In fact, Facebook's changes means normally I download these free demos and then put them on websites and stuff, but I've forgotten to press record. So that means I won't be able to download this now under the new Facebook things. But I'm really glad it cheers you up. So, for example, with an elliptical template, if I wanted to do a bottle of wine, because why not? Basically, what I would do is I would find an ellipse that I wanted and come down a few times with the same one. Then get a slightly wider one. So this is all about perspective. Maybe even wider now. There. How wide shall I go? How big a bottle should we have? There. Right. That'll do. And then I'll use the same one a few different spaces down like that. Absolutely, Anita. And then all I do, look, do join them up. This is a thin bottle. But it means I have the top, I have the bottom, and if I wanted to put a label in, I have a label. If I was doing a cup or a mug, which tends to be the same size, I'll do one at the top, one at the bottom, join them up, add a handle. So it's all perspective related in a way. So that is the most simple form possible. If I was going to do a narrowboat, and I'll mention narrowboat very briefly, because it's to do with this, and because I come from the Black Country where there are more canals than Venice, we've got to do one. Now, the front of a narrowboat is trapezoidal, and I just love that word. Now, Marie, you were with me on Thursday morning, so you can vouch for this. So we'll do a slight trapezium, like that. It doesn't have to be very angular. Oh, thanks. You're also lovely. Then I'm going to draw another trapezium, smaller, further away. Now, this is for the top of the cabin. I don't know. I don't live on one. I nearly did. Bottom to bottom, top to top, and you can just about see the top there. So that will be the top of a narrowboat. Then, depending on the angle, and you'll have to do it by eye, the more severe the angle, the more the pointy bit of the boat is towards the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw slightly up over the trapezium, a bit of a curve that round, and go back. Curve that over the top round like that. Then little triangle there, and then come round with the front of the boat. So this way, look, we've got our narrowboat with Rosie and Jim on it. I will definitely do it. I don't think we've got very many in stock at the moment, but I will. I know we've got loads of our cup cycle pads because I had to find space for them in our stock area. I can't say stock room, it's a shelf. Because it's only a small shop in our stock shelf. But so I have got plenty in stock. I overordered them actually. So that is extremely simple perspective. If you wanted just to add an object with perspective, a linear object within your scene. However, with technical perspective, Deborah Gale, I'm very thankful you asked. Yes, these tips are available in my Simple Start book, available on Shop Appy or direct from Amazon as a Kindle download. Now, if you can have it on Kindle, you're best off having the Kindle app because you can see it in colour, or unless you've got a really fancy Kindle-y thing. Or buy the book. I think it's £14. It's A4, 92 pages. £14, 10 pence, I think it is. And that's got colour mixing, it's got portraits, it's got projects, it's got perspective. Thank you, Liz. Oh, look at you lot. Aren't you lovely? Let's have a slurp of tea. It's called Simple Start. In fact, if you type my name in into Amazon, you might get some rogue Barry White things, which is not me. You'll get Simple Start, which is my arty book, and then you'll get the Draconi Chronicles, which is a kid's book I wrote about dragons living in Wales, and a dragon protector, which I've got to write the sequel for later, not today. So yeah, there we go. So as I was saying, there is always a horizon line, which is your eye level line. So this is the bit where you might get tricky. Right, so I'll try and keep this as friendly as possible. I do not want you getting into a sweat about this. So horizon line / eye level line. I think I might have 1 or 2 copies, Brenda, yes. It's paperback, it's not hardback, because I'm not that. It's self-published, I will warn you, there are a lot of errors in it, and it's as if I'm talking to you. It's like having me in your pocket. Well, it's not pocket size. It's A4, unless you've got big pockets. I don't know. Anyway, so going back to our square with a party hat, what I want to do is draw my square with a party hat straddling this line. Okay. Square, party hat, straddling line. Thank you, Jan. So, the vanishing point can be anywhere on the horizon line. Now, a word of advice or caution. Where I live, I'm surrounded by gorgeous, beautiful Cotswold villages. Each building is set on a different angle and plane. They don't follow traditional road shapes like Coronation Street, for example, or Victorian terraces, where they're all interlinked. Each building has its own separate plane. So that means if I stand in my village and look at the houses, each one will have its own vanishing point. However, all vanishing points will be on the same line, which is my eye level line. But let me just pop a vanishing point here. Now, this is going to be a little bit more tricky to give us a similar idea that we've done, but this is slightly more technical because it means we can put windows and doors in. So I haven't got a ruler, I've just got a bit of wood. So the bottom of my square goes to the vanishing point. The top of my square goes to the vanishing point. And the top of my roof goes to the vanishing point. Excuse the bongs, it's 11:30. There we have a front view. So this is what is known as one point perspective, because we have one vanishing point in a picture. All we then need to do is decide how big our house is and have another vertical line to close it off. Now, if you try perspective and it's all wonky and your house looks derelict, the main reason for that will be that your verticals are not vertical. If all of them are vertical, your house will be perfect. If 1 or 2 of them are slightly wonky and then the next one's wonkier and the next one's wonkier, it's going to look dilapidated and not like it's supposed to at all. So that is the width of my house. To get the slope of the roof, I line my ruler up to the slope and I just slide it across till it meets that second line. And then I draw that. I'm now going to just erase my vanishing, my horizon line from within my house. I sharpen my pencil just for this demo today, so you're all very privileged. If I want to add windows and doors to something like this, we've got everything we need to help us. And this is where it can get a little bit tricky. Brian, I have used the string technique and it works really, really well. So what Brian's talking about is where you have, I haven't got anything with me at the minute to show you, but basically you attach a piece of string to a pin, put the pin where the vanishing point is, and then each time you move the pin up and down, you've got everything, all your lines, as long as you pull it tight, join that vanishing point. So it's a really, really cool way without drawing loads and loads of lines. Thank you for that, because I'd forgotten. It's brilliant now. If I want to draw a window, and this will work whether you're using this technique, the box technique that I showed you earlier, or the string technique, draw the piece of vertical window frame that is the closest to you. So I'll do upstairs first. So that's the window frame vertical closest to me. Then I will join the bottom of that window frame to the vanishing point and the top of that window frame. I should be using a clear ruler to the vanishing point. Then all I need to do is decide the width of my windows with another vertical line. And what's really cool about that is all windows tend to share the same lintel. So I've already got all of my windows divided up for upstairs. This is a fancy house, look, with 4 windows. They will get narrower the further down they go and the closer together they are. They'll get closer together as they work by there. So again, draw a downstairs window frame vertical that's closest to me. This side of the house, the gable end, doesn't matter because that's facing us. So any windows on there will just be rectangular or square, depending on your window. So again, with this one, bottom of the window to vanishing point, top of the window to vanishing point, and then I can mark in my window. Sewing thread, perfect. Depends how big you're working as well. And the other good thing, that the lintel to the window and the door is usually the same, so I can pop my door in because I've got the bottom of the floor, I've got the top. There is my house. So the vanishing point here works in a similar way to where we draw our second square. So the closer the vanishing point is, the more acute the angle. If you think of an acute line, it's squished in. So if you think you've got an acute tummy ache, you bend forward and you scrunch up. So it's more of an acute angle. Whereas if, let's say, the further away your vanishing point is, the less acute the angle. So I'm going to draw the same thing over this side. Square with a party hat. Top of the roof, bottom of the roof, bottom of the building joins the vanishing point. We'll use the same vanishing point, so this could be a little street. Pigeon Street, Sesame Street, Coronation Street, I don't know. Your street. And again, let's move our vertical line across to the width of the house that we want. Move it down so that fits in underneath our roof line. Our actual angle of the roof, line up our ruler, slide it across. like that. So you can see the vanishing point is further away from this, so the angles are less. The vanishing point is closer to the building here, so the angles are more acute. Does this make sense? Or have I sent you all into panic mode? Obviously, this would only be worthwhile if you were doing something more technical. So if you've got a bigger building in a piece of work, then, thank you, Susie, then it would be useful to have a vanishing point and a horizon line, because it makes sense, because you need more information like windows and doors and that kind of thing. It would also make sense, so this is all still 1 point. Oh, thank you. How do you decide where the vanishing point is? Very good question. If you're doing it in real life, outside in a village or a street, really blinking hard, to be honest, Janet. However, and I haven't got a picture with a building in. That's one thing. I've been so prepared. Yes, the vanishing point can be anywhere on the horizon line. That horizon line is your eye level line, and I'll show you again. Do you remember how I said? I will answer your question, Christine, in 1 sec. I promise. If we draw above that line, we'll be looking up. So let's do that again here. So square with a party hat. Top of the roof to the vanishing point, because this is where it gets all tricky. I'm going to go behind this house. Now, technically, top of the roof, bottom of the roof, top, bottom of the building. Now, vertical, vertical, roof line, roof line. Now, I've got a floating house here, but not if it's on a hill. So this is all 1 point perspective. Now, you asked a really interesting question, Christine. And annoyingly, it's one that I'm not geared for, because I'm not working in my studio. I'm working from home today, and I've normally got about 50 rulers and sheets of card behind me. However, what we do, and I haven't got a photograph of a building, but I'll use my building here as an example. If you've got a photograph you're working from, what you might find useful is having 2 rulers or 2 long strips of card. And what you do is you print off your picture with the house on, or the building, and you run 1 strip of card along the roof line. And, oh, what's this? I'll use this. And then you use another strip of card under the floor line, or whichever line you can see that gives you a long point. And where they converge, that is where your vanishing point is. But also, by using the card, I can recreate that to scale on a drawing. So say that building was in a photograph of a scene, and I wanted to create the photograph to scale. I've got my vanishing point and all of my angles. So once I can recreate that, if I put a dot there and go up, I know that that dot has to be on my horizon line or eye level line, and that's the top of my roof. I know that. Or I could just do it from the bottom of the roof, which would make life a little bit easier. even if I do it a bit bigger, look, I've got my scale for part of my house, including the roof. So let's do it like this, and then the bottom of the roof would come in there, like that. I've got my house side like that, roof line to roof line, something like this anyway. Gives you an idea. Except this is bigger. I've drawn this bigger. But hopefully that will help. Oh, Brenda. I know. So hopefully that will help. So it just gives you an idea of how to work. Now, what you might struggle with in 2-point perspective, or in any other respect, where you see in 2-point perspective, you have 2 vanishing points, which means you're looking more on the... This is a cheat, and it's very rare you'll find yourself in a position where you're exactly square on to a building. So let's think. We'll have 2-point perspective. So 2 vanishing points will both be on the same line. The same line here. Now this time, I'm going to just have a corner of the house joining top and bottom to the vanishing point. Now, actually, I want to have a gable end here. So what I want to do, look. We'll have the side of the house here. The length of the house. So this is where all my windows are going to be and all of that kind of thing. This side is going to be narrower because this is the gable end. So again, I want vertical. But how do I find where the point of the roof is going to go? This bit. Easy. I just join corner to corner, corner to corner. And that, where they converge, is the centre point of the building, of that side. So I'll draw a straight line up. Then I've got my pitch. Then that top. Now don't forget, you can watch this video back on our Facebook page as many times as you need to. There we go, look. I've got my roof. And I'm in perspective. So that is 2-point. Because we've got 1, 2. This is 1 point. Because we've only got 1 vanishing point. So if you've got this could almost be the corner of a street. And you could do it that way. Whereas this one could be an actual street. If this was an actual street, you'd have to have everything. Your curbside lines moving to the vanishing point. If it had a telegraph pole or a street lamp, and you wanted more, that would have to go back to that 1 vanishing point, and they'd get closer together the further away they are. So hopefully this is making sense to you a little bit more perhaps than another. Good. The last thing I just want to quickly show you is if we've got a terrace. So let me just quickly do it slightly bigger, or a row of houses. I'm not going to draw the full vanishing point, the full horizon line. Side of the house, I don't know. Let's go quite big with this, and we'll miss it. We'll miss it off the edge. Okay, so top of the roof to to the vanishing point. Bottom of the roof to the vanishing point. You don't have to make the effects, but it helps. Bottom of the floor to the vanishing point. Okay, so we can divide our house up. This could be a whole Victorian terrace here, because once we've got our windows, let me draw the line that's closest to you. Professional, thanks, Lynn. Up, so closest window frame vertical to us. Bottom of that line goes there. Top of that line goes to the vanishing point. And we'll do the same with the bottom vertical window. Bottom of that line to the vanishing point. Top of that to the vanishing point. Okay. So technically, we've got all the information we need to do a whole Victorian terrace, or have plots of a formal, so post-Victorian housing estate where everything is together. So basically, I can divide. If it was a terrace, I wouldn't need to do anything apart from decide where the very end of the terrace would be with my roof and my vertical. I've got all of the information for all of the windows and all of the doors for the whole terrace. But if I wanted to make, I don't know, should we have one, two, we'll have 3 houses here, and then I'll shut up because it's getting on a bit, isn't it? Vertical here to split the end of the house. Level my ruler up with the bottom of the roof, slide it across to that line and go up. So this is going to be a small house. I've got my windows that should be vertical. And I've got my door because all the lintels follow in the same way. Now, oh, thank you, Connie. Give us a like and a share. Or even, you can review us on Google and you can review us on Facebook, because it all helps. Because to be honest, the online massive companies have taken lots of cash over the over this lockdown, and us small ones in many Facebook groups aren't even allowed to promote our business, but people can promote WH Smith's, The Works, Hobbycraft, and online places, but you can't promote your own business, so it's really hard for us to get out there. You'd have to do that by eye, depending on the image that you were doing. Really, Marie, that's where it gets technical, because you technically have to measure your roof line and split it into equal sections, which I kind of do by eye now. But yeah, that's the tricky bit. That's the long-winded bit. Right, if I move my ruler a little bit further down for my roof, because I've got my roof line, look, and I've got my vertical here. Now, there's a gap between these houses. So what I want to do is, this line should be horizontal. I'm going to draw another horizontal line there. And slide my roof line that way. So this bit is the side of a house. Oh, thank you, Katya. And this bit is the side of another house. So I can then pop in another vertical. Yeah, sadly, there's not always an easy fix for a lot of this. It can become quite technical if you're not careful. Follow that line. I've got my window lines. And I've got, which line is it? It's that one, not the horizon line. Like that, look. So I've got 2 houses. Then I can go horizontal there. Now this one's a bit further out. So don't forget, everything gets closer together the further away you go. This is a bigger house, actually. Fancy. Well, yeah, but if you notice on this, if I was going to paint this, I wouldn't need to rub anything out because my sky would cover those lines and my shading would cover all of the other lines. Christine, it can apply to trees in a landscape, but the only thing with a natural landscape is that you could have a sapling in the foreground, which is going to be shorter, and an old established tree in the background. The only way it would really apply is if all of the trees were planted at exactly the same time, but even then the growing rate would change. So with natural things, you've got a bit more free reign. However, it would help. For example, if I wanted to have a fir tree in this garden, I could use some of these lines that I've already got. If they've all got a fir tree, I'll do a really stylized fir tree for you. Like that. And then we'll have another one in there following the same line. Like that. So it could apply, yes. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Liddy. That's how you say your name, sorry. What a lovely name. Lovely, thank you, Jan. I am nearly winding up now because I'm waffling a bit. Again, if you'd got a curb, that would go back to your vanishing point. If you'd got a curb stone, which we do have here in the UK, I don't know if it's the same anywhere else, you've got the top of your curb and the bottom of your curb. The top would have to be horizontal, bottom vertical. This is where it can get very technical. So this is where you don't have to do it. Something like that. The white lines in your road, telegraph poles, lampposts, anything linear has to be... oh, brilliant. Oh, on Apple. Oh, perfect. That's good, Linda. Thank you. So there we go. I mean, that's a simple... I can't make it. 3-point is used if you're some sort of genius, Louise. 3-point would be used if you're looking at a very tall block of flats, for example. So you'd have a vanishing point at the top of a block of flats, let's say, and they would a towering block like that. Let's do, this is not in scale to the rest of this picture, by the way. This is if ants had a towering block of flats, and the bottom of which would go, and the top would go, and then you slice off that top line, and then that would go down there, and then you'd come down from that one to that one, I think, something like that. So you've got, you know, in comic books and stuff like that. Thank you, Louise. Hello, by the way. So you're looking up at something, or down at something. That's more 3-point perspective. If this was 3, well, that's 1, that's 2. I'd have to have another one there to turn that line back. You can see how it starts to get more complicated. So if you're learning, stick to just the very basics, which is what we started with, of adding a building or a linear object into a scene, or using templates if you need to get the guide right. Then 1 point where you've got a gable end facing, it's much easier that way. 2-point is slightly trickier. 3-point is when it gets really, really complicated. But hopefully for a 50 minute, because I started at 5 past, so I've not gone that long over. Hopefully you found that really useful. Now, next month's free demo, we've got two exciting things. On the 17th of April, we are doing a free full lesson on here in watercolour, where we're painting a cottage with a flower field of wild flowers in front of it. We're going to do some spattering in watercolour with an old toothbrush. We're going to have a whale of time on Saturday the 17th of April. Now, the shop will be open, so I will have to serve in between. So the 17th of April is a free class. You're all welcome to join on this Facebook page. And then the next demo is on the 1st of May. And that will be how to paint from a photograph. So it will be looking at a photograph and working out how to simplify it to turn it into a painting. Thank you, Wendy. I'll show you the photo that I did mention the narrowboat lesson. So these lessons are all available if you wanted to watch. So if you wanted to join in 11 o'clock, always 11 o'clock for the free class, 11 till 12:30 for the free class, 11 till 11:45 for the demos. If you wanted to learn how to do the hot air balloon, that is available as a catch-up video to join our drawing class as £5 lesson. And the narrowboat is a Thursday morning lesson, and that's also available at £5. So there's lots of options for you. All of our past lessons are available for a £5, and all of our free lessons are available to view on our Facebook page and some on our website. So thanks so much for your company this morning. It's been really lovely to have you with me. And if you do try and practice any of it, please do go ahead and share within the comments, because I do love to see what you're doing. You can send money via PayPal if you've got the PayPal app, Christine. PayPal.me/capital A for artery, capital A for art, and capital S for shop. It's along the bottom of the screen. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Diane. Excellent. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to seeing what you do. Happy Easter. Have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully you can spend it in a garden and the weather's nice enough to see some friends or family. So thanks so much. Take care, everybody. See you all soon. Bye-bye.